it you. What's that you say? Keeping it real, keeping it real. Rue and who? What's that you say?
So it is National Nut Day, and I think the gods are in our favor because we have a guest that, you know, it is also National Trick or Treat Day, even though it's not, it is Marloween. So who are you?
My name is DaNa, and I'm a friend of somebody who's supposed to be here named John Sinclair.
Yeah,
Is he nuts?
This one, take this one. No, but I think he might be. Wait. You're dying for these nuts, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, so have some nuts.
I'll just have a nut.
All right, now for these nuts, you have to tell us a skeleton from your closet.
How nutty are you?
Well, okay. Way back in 1967 in Tompkins Park,
Okay.
started the marijuana movement.
Good for you.
Wow.
And we had these smoke-ins, and I kind of became legendary.
So do you have any weed on you now?
No, I'm on parole. I'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, I love you.
What happened was that I became a legend because of the New York Provos, which actually preceded the Yippies.
So are you
And when
friends
they
with
started,
David Peel?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We started the Yippies in January of 1968.
Now, what is the difference between a yippie and a hippie?
Yippie is someone who's a hippie who's been beaten up by the cops.
Oh,
It
really?
tends to change your attitude.
Wow.
No more peace and love.
Wow. So a yippie is a hippie that had a.
Well, if you consider, a truncheon hitting your head to be a problem, I guess that is a
Yeah,
problem.
I do consider that. So did you have really long hair?
Yes, it did.
How long was it?
It was pretty long.
To your waist?
No, but it was down here,
Yeah?
and it was actually kind of reddish blonde, and I knocked him dead.
Good for you. So, are you from
I
New
was
York?
definitely into girls.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Were you a hot number?
They say I was.
I'm sure you were. What did you do besides smoke pot?
Well, we actually it's an interesting
Do you
story.
remember?
But
Do
that's
you
how
still
I
have
met.
your
The
bracelets?
story is like basically how I met John
Oh,
Sinclair.
okay. Let's hear it.
I became a legend because I was busted for 9 hits of acid and went underground. And then when I was underground, I met John Sinclair. Well, I met his people in Ann Arbor. I met him much later. He was in jail for 10 years for 2 joints.
John Sinclair.
Right, and actually
Holy
John
shit.
Lennon did a big rally at the concert at the Chrysler Arena and got him out.
Wow.
Right.
That's really cool.
So,
wow.
That's not nutty at all.
meanwhile, I got busted and went in right around the same time, and I was in for a year, and got a New York Times article saying that I was the chief theoretician of the Yippies.
Wow. The
Right.
chief what?
Theoretician.
Theoretician.
Right. No, I know about like neurochemistry and neurophysics,
All
all
right,
kinds of
so-
stuff you need to study psychedelic drugs.
So did you make that acid that was in your pocket that you got?
No, but what happened was Ed Rosenthal, who I met here, he's the Grow Tips guy from High Times, who
Okay.
I met here in Tompkins Park in 1997, the Summer of Love. In 1973, after I got out,
Where were you in
Ask-
jail?
ask-
Just curious.
in Madison, Wisconsin,
They sent you from New York to Wisconsin?
no, that's where I happened to get busted, and they found out I had a little warrant out for the LSD bust from 1967. So I did about a year. But then I went straight to the Democratic Convention where I asked George McGovern if it was true about the CIA dealing heroin. And he said, yes, the CIA, unfortunately, is dealing heroin, and all our kids who smoke pot are at risk for being strung out on smack.
Do you believe that?
Well, what happened was that because of Ed Rosenthal, remember,
All Jews, right?
I met a guy named Howard Lotsoff, and Howard Lotsoff had this mysterious African drug
What is
named
that?
ibogaine.
Okay, it wasn't
What
even
ibogaine
Ebola
does
though.
is, he told me, ibogaine got me off of heroin overnight.
Wow. No
So-
side effects, no nothing?
Well, it has some side effects, but not compared to being strung out on
Methadone?
heroin or strung out on methadone.
Right.
So what happened was we didn't immediately jump In 1980, we had Studio 10 on Bleecker Street, the Hippie Emporium, and we had a lot of heroin around, and we decided to start the again, and it took us about 10 years, but then, AIDS hit, and it was
So
a
you
big
injected
problem.
ibogaine?
Well, no, but there was a lot of people who were injecting heroin, and they unfortunately all got AIDS because they shared needles.
Right.
Bad idea. And we came along, and there was a crack epidemic too.
Yeah,
You see,
we just heard about
ibogaine
that.
is kind of an equal opportunity cure. It works not only for heroin, but for crack and methadone.
So this is like a known drug that's out there that can
Oh
actually
yeah,
work.
I work on it full time
Do you?
today.
Do people use it? Is it
John
supplied?
Sinclair took it.
And is it supplied to the general public or is
Well,
it underground?
it's Schedule 1 in this country, like LSD.
Is it FDA approved?
but
Or is
everywhere else in the world, it's legal.
it in every other country?
So what
Except
we're trying
not
to
in
do,
America.
we're trying to get, because the Americans are so backward, we're trying to get ibogaine adopted in all the other countries around the world, so eventually the prohibition in America falls.
Wow. So good for you. So when are you running for governor or
I'm just trying to start an ibogaine clinic in Kabul,
where's that?
Afghanistan, because that's where the heroin is.
Gotcha. Wow.
No, but I'm working with a guy named Murtaza Majid, who is living in Sweden. I just talked to him an hour ago, and I do fundraisers to bring ibogaine to places like Afghanistan and Nepal, and we already got it established in New Zealand and South Africa and Brazil, and a
What
lot
about
of people
the
go
South
to Mexico.
Bronx or like places?
Well, the people, unfortunately, from here have to go to Mexico, and they pay a lot of money. They pay $7,000.
for the ibogaine or
But
for Mexico?
well, the trip to Mexico but it's between $3,000 and $7,000. But you only have to take it once. It's not
And
like
how do you, is it like a pill?
a big capsule.
It's $7,000 for one pill.
Yeah, but it gets you off heroin for the rest of your life.
Like
And you're
how
going to
do you-
spend way more than that. You may OD and die.
Wait a minute. One pill is $7,000. You take one pill and you're cured forever. Does
Right.
your desire go away?
Yeah.
It makes you not
What it
want
does-
to
what
take
it does,
anything. Does it
it
make you not want to smoke pot
It
too?
expresses a neurotropin. No. But it expresses this thing called GDNF, which causes your brain cells to grow back to normal.
So wait a minute. Oh, really? So that's why you didn't. So if you lost your brain cells, this brings them back.
That's right.
So even if you smoke pot, it brings it back, or just from heroin and
Well,
crack?
actually, marijuana really doesn't do that much to you. But yeah, stuff like crystal meth definitely.
Oh, that too. It brings
Frazzle.
those.
Yes.
Holy shit! All the damage you did for that first half of your life. You take one of these pills and you're fixed.
Yeah, you get this big spike, and the
Now, do you
GDNF says to your little brain cells, make more GDNF. It's like the
Wow.
Sorcerer's Apprentice in
Holy-
Mickey Mouse, you know.
This
with
is like a magic wand pill.
right.
So wait a
It's
minute.
just from a sacred plant
Now, like, I just have a
in
question.
Africa, like peyote.
So,
but
yeah,
it's more sacred than peyote.
Do you trip? Trip
Oh,
when you
definitely.
take it? Do you
You
trip
go
when
on a
you take it?
36-hour trip. That's why they banned it.
Wow! So you go on a 36-hour.
But
That
it's
you
like
have to-
dreaming. It's
that
like
you
dreaming.
know
It's
you're
not like
gonna come
LSD.
out
On LSD, you're awake. On ibogaine, you're like in paradoxical sleep. You're like in this waking dream.
So like a induced coma or something.
Now you kind of can't get up and walk around on it.
Are you?
But then it wears off after the first part of it wears
So
off.
do you
and then
lose
can't.
weight after those 36 hours?
If you're obese.
Wow! Let's take it. No.
If you're obese, yes. It's good for obesity. It's good
So
for
is
binge
it good
behavior.
for food addicts too?
Yes, it's good for compulsive gambling.
So wait a
And
minute.
it's
This
also
could
good for
put.
this is a list of things it's good for.
So this could put a lot of
Obsessive-
things.
Obsessive compulsive disorder.
Yeah.
Post-traumatic stress.
So all the things
all
we
the guys
blame our
who are about
parents
to go
for.
postal from Afghanistan or Iraq, we can give them that.
So wait. This is like a.
Parkinson's
It
disease,
cures that too.
drug-resistant tuberculosis,
Wait a minute. We gotta get you.
half of
out
all
there.
tumors,
Wait. Say the name again of this thing.
hepatitis C,
Cure. You don't have to go through all that ibuprofen. Not that. What are you?
the
taking?
ribavirin. No, that's obsolete.
The other.
Um,
no, what is it?
Let me see.
Other-
AIDS.
It cures AIDS.
You'll
too?
go from full-blown AIDS back into remission.
And this is
Stroke
proven.
damage. We had a guy who lost his vision, took ibogaine, and
What?
it was
So-
the damage to WhO's brain, substantia nigra.
Now, did you take it?
I took a quarter of a dose
So
because
wait,
I
what's
had a
that?
very
$2,000?
I had a very bad. No, I got it for free, of course. I had a very bad.
We got connections now.
I had a very bad mold lung infection, and it actually gave me. That later gave me the heart attack.
You know, I want to
See,
give you
I
some
was
more.
in prison for medical marijuana,
Have some more nuts.
and after 9 months of the prison diet, I died. I was dead for 3.5 minutes from a heart attack. Then they revived me. And then I was, this is the second time I went to jail in Wisconsin. Because I was the main medical marijuana supplier in New York City for like 20 years. From 1993 until 2000.
Now, when you say medical marijuana supplier, what do you
I'm
mean?
talking about people with multiple sclerosis, hepatitis C, and a lot of people with
Interferon.
AIDS.
Yeah,
I had all the AIDS patients.
in the 80s.
No, right
In the
up
90s.
until 2011. There's still people with AIDS.
I know my brother is an angel. He produces my show. He passed away from AIDS.
Right. So what I'm saying
So
is,
that could have helped him.
right.
Instead, they
It
gave him all
turns
those
out-
other drugs.
Remember Ronald Reagan, who said it's really bad for you? And
What?
AIDS happened under Reagan.
Yeah,
Guess what?
he made it happen.
No. It's out that smoking pot cuts down your viral load. Marijuana is very therapeutic too.
Of course it is.
And it's good for a lot of different things, just like I. Anyway, I went to prison because I was busted twice, and they basically just said when marijuana crosses the border into our state, it loses its medical properties, so you go to jail.
But
and,
if you go to
and
New
then I had a
Jersey,
second heart attack. I got
No, that would
spent.
be me.
And then this,
oh, I see your scar.
yeah, they took a plaque out of my neck. It's from the milk. So I'm lactose intolerant, and when you're lactose intolerant, milk goes straight into plaque.
So there's something about you though that you're like almost like Keith Richards. Like you can't go away. We need you in this world because you have a lot of information that can help a lot of people. So no matter how many times you're having this, you're like a cat with 9 lives or something. Because you're supposed to be here. Because you can actually do something to save so many people in this world.
That's right.
Yeah. How old are you, if you mind that I
I'm
ask?
6.
67. When's your birthday?
John's a little older than I am, though.
When's your birthday?
January 9th.
January 9th.
Aw.
Where were you born?
Ravenna, Ohio.
All right.
Right up. In fact, that was the hospital where they took the kids that were shot at Kent State.
Wow.
Later.
Oh, yeah. So, do you think that you abused drugs for any particular reason, or was it?
I
just
quit alcohol because you see, I had this friend who wrote the big hemp book that Jack Herard took. It became The Emperor Wears No Clothes, but in German it's called Von Hempf's. And this guy was a really interesting guy. He would have been the emperor, but his mom would have been the empress. But she married a guy named Bear, and he was kind of like the air defense marshal under Hermann Goering. And so when this kid was a little kid, Hitler came up and said, "Nice boy." He despised Hitler, grabbing him by the chin. And this was a really cool guy, but he had a bit of a problem. So he spent in bed half paralyzed, but just drinking too much. It's bad for you.
Now, does that?
So I
do
was
that too?
I was in prison for 2 years, and I thought about that a lot. I said, I don't want to end up like my friend George. So when I got out, I just didn't start drinking
Good
again.
for you. So does that drug cure drinking too?
Ibogaine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So alcohol, heroin, crack, Hep C, AIDS, strokes.
Well, no, the drugs that it does methcathinone, which is stuff in cat. It does cigarettes. But only about a third of all
For
people quit
$7,000.
cigarettes. Well, no,
You
I
can
can
be cured.
actually get it for $400 in Brooklyn.
Oh, we got a supplier here. So what's your website? I
No,
think,
but the thing is that I can't talk about this because I'm on parole.
but you just talked about it, and this is the internet.
Well, I
Okay.
didn't say I was going to actually.
No, you didn't.
I didn't say I was going to refer you.
No. Do you have a website? Are you
It's
on
called
Facebook?
Cures Not Wars. My name is BeaL.
I love love you, Dana BeaL. How do you spell BeaL? B-E-A-L?
And you could go on YouTube and see me a lot.
Yeah,
See our plan for global warming. Look up Dana BeaL plus global warming.
Will you come back and visit me? Do you live in this neighborhood now?
No, we got kicked out of the Yippie Museum at 9 Bleecker.
Everybody's getting kicked out of everywhere. Rest in peace. I mean, everybody's closed. But so what are you? Are you like a hobo? Do you live somewhere?
Right now, I'm stuck on the top floor of a synagogue on 38th Street, 6th Avenue.
Okay. All right. So you're closer to God.
At least I'm close to the rabbi.
Yeah. Well, you're in the attic, you said, right?
So I'm the official Shabbos goy.
Good for you.
In other words, they can't do anything on Shabbos. I can do it for them.
Okay. Well, Shabbat Shalom.
And I'm actually a Unitarian, so I'm whatever you are.
I'm whatever you are.
Right.
There you go. Well, would you like to push a button? I thank you so much for sharing all that with us.
Okay.
You are one hell of a guy.
Well, I just wish that John Sinclair would get here.
Well, we have someone else that's going to come on, and when John gets here, we'll try to do what Art.
Yeah, because I have to go.
We have. Yeah, you do.
I
Push your
know.
button.
Okay, which button?
What do you want?
Any button.
The gonna love it. Yeah. So Dana
Okay,
BeaL.
give me another nut.
Another nut? You got it. Thank you. We'll be back. We got more. Thank you so much.
Rue and who? What's that you say? There's a quirky, cool new internet show. Retreat ride. They come back.